Welcome to the A.T.TIPSCAST, exploring and investigating the implementation of assistive technology in public schools. I'm your host, Chris Bugaj. This is episode 77, recorded on June 10th, 2011. The acronym OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition. Let's break that down. Optical has to do with sight. Character, well, those are what we call numbers, letters, and other symbols. Recognition, this is the act of identifying something. So, when you put all of them together, it means that a tool with an optical character recognition feature identifies characters when it sees them. This concept has been around a long time. In fact, many scanners and corresponding software have built-in optical character recognition features. So a user could go to a computer workstation that has a scanner, put in their document, press the OCR button on the front of the scanner, or maybe in the software, and have the scanner scan the document to recognize all of the letters. This is especially helpful for people who need to manipulate printed text, like translating a printed book into Braille or converting a printed book into an audible format. In fact, OCR is so useful, I'm calling it A.T.TIP 203. But there's been a long-standing problem with OCR. Until recently, people have been tethered to a computer workstation to convert printed text. They'd have to pack up their stuff, go to a computer lab or a library where the scanner was located, and then scan in the material. And that's why when the Intel Reader team contacted me about sponsoring an episode featuring their product, I jumped at the chance. The Intel Reader provides a portable way to provide high-quality optical character recognition. To tell you more about the product, I interviewed Steve Gallo from the Intel Reader team. During the interview, we talk about the product and how educators have been using it. I think the overview will give you a good idea of what the Intel Reader can do and how it can have a major impact on students. Hello, Steve. Welcome to the A.T.TIPScast. So tell us, you work with the Intel Reader. What does the Intel Reader do?
It takes pictures of printed text and reads them back to you out loud. Actually, how it works, it has a built-in camera. It takes pictures of the text. It sends it through a optical character recognition software that actually translates it into text. Before it goes through the optical character recognition software, it actually goes through the straightening algorithm. So, for example, if you take a picture of a book, the pages aren't usually flat.
Mm-hmm.
They have a curvature to them. It actually flattens that out before it sends it to OCR and allows it to be processed into text. Then it actually reads it back to you out loud and presents the text to you on its built-in screen.
Aha, okay. So it's kind of like a portable scanner that has the optical character recognition built right into it.
That's right. It's all in one device.
That's awesome. Now, who do you think could benefit from the Intel Reader?
Well, basically, anybody who has any kind of print disability will find great improvement in their freedom by using the Intel Reader. So it could be somebody with dyslexia, low vision, somebody with blindness. This will give them access to printed material in an independent way. They can do it by themselves without having to rely on others to have that content read to them.
Gotcha. So in a school system right now, you might have any student that's going to a scanner. Typically in a school, you might have a scanner in the library or a scanner in the computer lab. So you could go to that scanner, but you're tethered to that machine.
Exactly.
By having the Intel Reader, you've kind of you've made it portable. You could go anywhere and get text to speech.
That's right.
So then, how are some of the teachers that are using the Intel Reader? How have they incorporated it into their classrooms?
Well, one of the problems with teachers access to that PC advanced before the classroom. The teacher may have to read to them, or they have aides in there reading to the student. The teacher can actually just, if they have their content already in some kind of digital format, they can just copy it straight over to the device, give it to the student. The student can sit in their chair just like all the other students. They can use their headphones and listen to the content on their own. They could also hand it out. And in the classroom, the student could work in a more independent way where they took pictures of their textbook or a handout and just had it read to them right there. Or they could take it home as well and do their assignments at home with it.
Gotcha. Now, how do they get the information onto the device? Like if you could take a picture, you said that, but if you said if they had a digital version, they can put that right on the device?
Yeah, you can also transfer digital files to the device through the USB cable. and so you can connect it to a PC or a Mac. You can load any kind of text file on there, or we also support the DAISY format, which is a standard accessible format.
Yeah, of course, Daisy. Cool, that's awesome. So now let's hear about the students. Have you had any student experience with it?
Yeah, I mean, usually students, so if a student needs assistance with reading, they love the Intel Reader. It really gives them a new sense of freedom, independence, not having to rely on others to read to them, or like you said, go to a library and have to do that work in a kind of a special place or in the back of a classroom. And I actually had a story about a mother. I was talking to a mother on the phone, and she was telling me about all of her struggles she had with, where she was going in after school, 3-4 hours a week, and scanning all of her daughter's assignments and textbooks and things for that week for her, so that she could sit in the back of the classroom on a PC in the corner and have her, content read to her.
Oh my gosh, so the parent was actually spending that amount of time to scan in the materials, doing all that work on their own. And then the student was still kind of tethered in the back of the room, excluded from the rest of the class, you might say.
Right, and the school didn't have the resources to have somebody do that for her. So so she was in the back of the classroom doing that. So she got a hold of an Intel Reader, and she was so thrilled. She had this new sense of independence, could sit in her chair like all the other students, had full access anytime she wanted to any of the content she had was printed. She was so excited, she called her best friend on the telephone and made her listen to an entire chapter out of a book over the phone, read out from the Intel Reader. She was so excited. So it was kind of cool to hear about that.
That's awesome. So if people wanted to find out more information about the Intel Reader, where would they go?
They can go to our site, careinnovations/reader, and they can find all kinds of information about it there.
Okay, great. And I'll have that information in the show notes as well so that people can just go right to the link.
Great.
All right. Thanks, Steve. We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for your time.
Thanks again to Steve Gallo for taking the time to record that interview to share with you some of the insights into the use of the Intel Reader. If you think portable, optical character recognition is something that would work with your students, I recommend you check into the Intel Reader at careinnovations.com/reader. That's careinnovations.com/reader. When you go there, you'll find video tutorials, product demos, diagrams, testimonials, manuals, information about accessories like the capture station. That's kind of like a docking station where you slide the Intel Reader in, slide a book under it, and have the ability to rapidly scan page after page. And then there's much, much more over at that website. Of course, I'll have that link over at the blog, A.T.TIPSCAST.wordpress.com as well. Until next time, may all your interventions be inclusive, may all your strategies be supportive, and may all your optically recognized characters be portable.